All right, so what we're going to look at tonight is an initial examination of what is on your examination. So you'll see here the instruction sheet in front of you now. There are two parts to the exam. In the past, there have been two parts to the past papers, but the first part, the part A, has been multiple choice in nature. And you'll see even in terms of comments about last semester's course or the semester before in the review of that course, some references to an e-quiz and things like that, an e-quiz as to multiple choice questions. This semester, there are no multiple choice questions. Part A, you'll see, is worth 20 marks. In Part A, students are to answer 4 of the 6 questions. And of course, you write a separate answer as to each of those 4 questions selected. If you do more than 4 questions, it'll be only the first 4 that are marked. Part B is worth 40 marks. You have to answer all 4 of the questions in Part B. They are worth 10 marks each, whereas the Part A questions are worth 5 marks each. So let's talk more about Part A. Each of those are what I would describe as mini essays. They're an opportunity for you to show what you do know about a specific topic rather than a trick or a very, very specific question that you can only answer in a very, very specific way. It's not like a chemistry problem where you have to give a specific one-line answer. It's the reverse. It's an opportunity for you to talk as much as you can in the time available about specific issues. So to give you a heads up as to the issues, question 1 is a 3-line question, and it's about the issue of agency. But there are some specific couple of little sub-questions within that question. Question 2 is about the Australian consumer law, and it's 5 lines in length. Question 3 is 2 lines in length, and it's about terms in contracts. Question 4 is 2 lines in length, and it's about intellectual property. Question 5 is about property-related matters, that is, real property or the difference between real property and personal property, and it's 2 lines in length. And question 6 is about bankruptcy or the bankruptcy-related issues. Part B, question 1, 2, 3 and 4, they were all worth 10 marks each. The first question, question 1, is about it's a problem question about an agency scenario. So some goods are being sold by an agent. The question is whether the agent is acting within their agency as such. Question 2 is about the sale of some goods and whether those goods are being sold in accordance with a contract. And if there is a breach of the contract because of the way the goods are sold, what are the rights and remedies available to the purchaser as to those goods? Question 3 is about, it's the longest question, it's about 12, 13, 14 lines long, and it's about the purchase of a bicycle for a bicycle race and whether the purchase of that bicycle and its use in the race is acceptable, shall we say, and what cause or causes of action might be available to the purchaser of that bicycle. The final question is about the purchase of a computer by a student. And although there's some similarities between question 4 and question 3, there's a different angle taken in question 4 about this computer which is purchased. And the question is what the terms imposed by the seller, how the terms imposed by the seller might impact upon that contractual relationship with the purchaser. So what legal rights, if any, does the purchaser have relating to that computer in the circumstances where the purchaser is a student? So part A are mini essay questions. In part A, you would be trying to refer to as much legal detail or legal principle as you can for each of those questions. You would use headings and subheadings, as many headings and subheadings as you can. In part B, you would use, once again, as many headings and subheadings as you can. The part B questions, because they're problem questions, you would try to break them up or structure them as much as possible. That is, what is the question that I'm being asked? What's the issue or issues that are relevant to that question? What are the facts that I have been given relevant to that issue or issues? What's the law or the rules applicable to the issue or issues? How do I apply those laws to the facts application? I then need to come to a conclusion as to the issue. And if I've asked myself a question, what's the answer to that question? So you can see question, issue, facts, law, application, conclusion, answer. I won't necessarily use those headings or subheadings, but they will give me a clear identification of a structure that I can use in the Part B questions. So how should I prepare for the exam? Well, each week, of course, we've been going through specific material. You should be summarising that material each week, summarising what you're learning from the material that's on Moodle, from the Zoom session, from the questions and answers, from matters such as your textbook, other things that are relevant to that week's material. As you do that each week, over time, you should be revising that material. By revising, I mean rewriting out a summary of the material relevant. Reading it, writing it, saying it, hearing it, maybe drawing it in a flowchart way or in a mind map way, to use that phraseology. And that will give you a better understanding of the material for that module. Of course, you need to practice the questions. As we get towards the revision at the end of the term, we're going to come back and we're going to look again at these exam questions, revisit them so that we can get a clear heads up of where we're heading. This one will certainly not be our last visitation of the exam. Of course, we're going to revisit again as we get towards the revision period. So, of course, you'll have plenty of questions about some of these things, and we'll work our way through those questions in due course as we go through the next few weeks. Talk soon.